Hey guys, you can get access to my Valorant competitive course. It explains all of the fundamentals that you're going to want to understand in order to master competitive, to rank up, and to basically get out of wherever you're stuck at. No matter what your rank is, you can learn something from the course. Check the Patreon link in the description, and see you guys. Hope you enjoy the video. Hey guys, today I'm going to be explaining the top 4 habits in Valorant that you should be building if you want to master competitive. So the first tip is don't peek or push when you don't need to, right? So this is something I find myself saying constantly whenever I'm coaching someone, especially in lower ranks. And that's the vast majority of you guys most likely. So for example, both when we're defending, but also when we're defending the spike, right? Because whenever you're attacking and you plant the spike, you turn from the attackers into the defenders of the spike. So it's the same thing as if you're just defending on defense. So let's say the spike is right here. And let's say we're playing back here for some reason, right? This is just where we decided to position. Instead of just like standing here, ready to fight this, we would want to kind of just like hide, right? Because we let the time do pretty much all the work for us. If someone taps, you can consider peeking. You don't really need to, because a lot of the time people just fake because they expect you to be here. Another example of this might be, we're attacking, we got up to here. The mistake in this scenario would be pushing forward into their spawn, because you don't need to do that to win the round. All you need to do is simply sit here and wait until they push into you. If they come into you, which they're going to have to do because, right, you guys have planted the spike here or here. You guys have planted the spike. They have to come to you. You just let the time do work for you, and the round's basically secured. So yeah, peeking when you don't need to gives the enemies additional chances to get kills and win. And it's additional chances because, again, you don't have to peek them to win the round. To win the round, all you have to do is sit here and wait. You let the time do the work for you. And yeah, so moving on to tip number 2. Aim train or practice consistently before comp. I've said this so many times. Those of you who watch my channel consistently, I probably sound like a broken record. So pick an aim training routine you genuinely enjoy. I've said this before as well. So whenever you pick an aim training routine, you have a few options. You have the range, you have deathmatch, you have aim trainers. But why pick something that you don't enjoy? Why pick something because someone else told you to do it if you don't enjoy it? Why do that, right? Do something. It's like whenever you go to work out, pick something that you actually enjoy doing, and you're more likely to repeat doing it. And you really are going to gain the fruits of that action, right? So in this case, we're talking about aim training. My opinion is deathmatch is best, but you can do whatever you think is best for you. So pick an aim training routine you genuinely enjoy. Always keep your mind open for what you specifically want to train. And don't skip for any reason, right? So always keep your mind open specifically to what you want to train or what you need to train. For example, say that I am bad at long range fights right here. Maybe with a Vandal, I'm bad with long range fights. Or maybe I just don't know how I want to peak. Like maybe I'm not good at jiggling for some reason. These are all things you can practice in the range in deathmatch, and you want to practice your weaknesses specifically, because if you practice what you're already strong at, it's just going to be lopsided. You're going to be not a well-rounded player mechanically. So that's what you really want to focus on here. This is a really good habit to build. And again, don't skip training for any reason. If you get yourself into the habit one day of like, oh, I don't really feel like aim training, oh, I don't need to aim train, you're just going to keep telling yourself that lie, and you're not going to build your muscle memory, right? So make sure that you're actually real and honest with yourself, and make sure you consistently kind of aim train, right? The amount of time the aim train is kind of up to you, but I would suggest 15 to 30 minutes, depending on if you feel like your aim's really good, you can do lower time, but if you feel like your aim's pretty weak and you really want to practice it, maybe even 30 to 45 minutes. So anyways, moving on to the next tip. Don't make excuses ever in comp, right? So this is something that people specifically with mentality problems or deficits have. They make excuses both about when they do something wrong and also when teammates do something wrong, right? So if your teammate's doing something wrong, if you make excuses, you're going to be like, oh, I blame my team. It's all my team's fault. I'm stuck in this ring because of my teammates. Or if you do something bad and if you don't own up to it, that's a big problem as well, right? Because you're not actually looking for ways you can improve from your mistakes. You're not even acknowledging your mistakes. So how can you improve if you don't look for your mistakes, right? So when you do something wrong or bad, own up to it, right? And do it better next time, because again, it's the same thing that I just said. If you're actually looking for it, you own up to it, you realize that it's a mistake, that really allows you to, start imagining solutions to the problem and better approaches to that problem that you made next time. If you just acknowledge it or shrug it off and don't even think about it, then you're just going to keep making the mistake because you're not thinking about it, right? So this helps manage your ego while also working with your teammates or coordinating with your teammates, right? So your ego, it can be a big problem because mentality is half the battle when we play this game. But if we can start owning up to our problems, also saying like, yeah, that was my bad, guys, in team chat, we can, kind of let our team know, like, we're on the same page, we're good, you know, it's my bad, we can still win though, right? We're fine, right? So this is a really, really useful habit, especially if you're prone to get angry at either yourself or teammates. Just kind of own up to it. Realize it's not a big deal that you made a mistake, but the big deal is whenever you don't either you don't realize it or you don't try to make it better. You don't take steps to make it better, right? That's the big problem. The big problem is not actually making the mistake. The fourth and final tip is always spend excess credits and coordinate on eco rounds with your team, right? So this is something I also say all the time. Here I actually have max credits, so let me go ahead and turn that off. But you can see here, I still have max credits. But anyways, buy down until mid next round is 3,900. So in a normal game, you're going to be able to see how much you'll have next round based off of what you've already bought here. So buy down until this says 3,900. Whenever you're on an eco round, more than likely, you're going to be able to buy some additional stuff. So whether it's abilities, pistols, or maybe like light armor, or maybe even, you know, like a Stinger, Spectre, or Marshall, you know, whatever you prefer, maybe even a Buckeeh or something. But I would suggest Sheriff or Shorty, to be honest, for most eco rounds, and then maybe like an ability. So if you're a Jet, you can buy Shorty, double smoke, and then just dash in. Whereas if you didn't buy anything on an eco round, your chances of winning that round are much lower. And, you know, maybe if you're like playing a different agent, you could pick a different weapon because that agent, you know, suits you better. Again, for Jet, you might go like Marshall because you have a dash or something like that. But basically, this just gives you a better chance, overall better chance to win the round, more so than if you were, you know, not buying at all. And you also have to realize that they're called excess credits for a reason, right? If you're not spending them, you're just holding on to them. What are you doing with them, right? You know, this is not real money. Just spend it and, you know, try to make the best out of it. But also another aspect that goes into this is try to coordinate with your teammates on eco rounds, right? A lot of people, so say you lose pistol round, right? We lose pistol round, we have nothing, we have no armor, we have absolutely nothing. A lot of people are just basically like in the mindset that you can't win this round. It's just unwinnable. Unlucky, we don't have guns, they do. Or you're just not thinking about like how this round could be won. But you actually can win it because a lot of the time, especially in, again, lower ranks or like Plat, Diamond, Ascendant, like all these ranks, people are much more prone to just kind of mindlessly play the game. Also, and so that means both whenever you have weapons on the second round and also whenever you guys aren't buying on second round. So people with weapons are more likely to push in just kind of mindlessly and not really think about, you know, someone that's actually thinking a bit ahead. And that's what you want to do, is think a little bit ahead. And so coordinate plans on eco rounds that enemies won't expect. That's what you really want to be doing. This makes your chances of winning ecos also much higher. So again, an example of this, if we're defending maybe, it would be just buy Shorty and play like really close right here and just accept that if they don't come here, you're basically screwed. But if they do, you can easily get one or two. Whereas if you don't buy anything, you have a classic, like, oh, I can't win this round, I'm just gonna peek, right? And then you just get one tap because you're just mindless, right? You're not thinking about what you could be doing. So these are the top 4 habits that you guys can build in Valorant. I'm working on a second course right now if you guys have made it to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.